It just sucks. This is not a Selfie skin foundation, I can assure you. The other week I did a video where I did speed reviews of all of the eyeshadow palettes that I've purchased so far for the year of 2020 and kind of like what my final thoughts are on them and like if I'm still using them and if I would recommend them, etc, etc. You guys seem to really enjoy that video, so I thought I would carry that on with the rest of the makeup products that I've purchased so far this year. And today we are going to do foundations. Let's go ahead and get into these speed reviews of these products because there's a lot and I have some opinions. Shocking. Hopefully that sounds good to you. If it does and you enjoy the video, you can give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, and I appreciate it so much. I truly do. Okay, let's start with the foundations that I kind of purchased at the start of the year and kind of work our way to the newest ones, shall we? The first foundation that I purchased this year was the Bite Beauty Changemaker foundation. I purchased this because I really was after a clean foundation that wasn't like made of coconut oil, basically, because if you look at a lot of clean foundation or clean makeup products, basically all of them have coconut oil in it, and coconut oil breaks myself out. So this product came along. It doesn't have any nasty ingredients in it well, it doesn't have any nasty ingredients in it because it's clean beauty, but also doesn't have any ingredients in it that my sensitive skin is going to hate. This foundation is actually quite a nice foundation. It's not going to be for everybody, and that is for sure. It has a weird texture. It's like a mousse-like kind of texture almost. It is light coverage. You can build it up to medium coverage, but I find the more you build this up, the cakier it tends to look, at least on my combo oily skin. I have tested this every which way, and I can assure you that if you have this and you're struggling to use it, or if you are looking to purchase this, the best way to put this foundation on is with your hands. Flat out. Your hands. That is when you are going to get a result that you actually like, because that is the only way I have found using this foundation actually works for me and my skin and actually looks nice. It does settle a little bit in fine lines, so you need to be aware of that, and like I said, the more you build it up, the cakier it gets. So if you are someone that is looking for a light coverage clean beauty foundation, then this is a really good option. But if you want anything more than light coverage, I would suggest picking something else. Next up, I purchased the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation. I have talked about this a little bit on my channel. I kind of was hesitant to purchase this because it has the word luminous in it, and normally I don't like dewy luminous foundations, being that I'm combo oily skinned. If you don't know that about me, hi, my name's Martina, I'm combo oily skinned, and I say it in nearly every video. But basically I was a little bit hesitant. However, I have seen a lot of people that have the same skin type as me rave about this, and just, I don't know, just a lot of people seem to really rave about this foundation. And at the start of the year, Anastasia Beverly Hills had like 50% off everything on her website, I think it was. So I picked up this. When I first tried this, the first couple of times I tried it, I didn't mind it. Now it is a little bit too dark for me and a little bit too yellow. So this is the shade 210N, and it is a neutral tone. I don't think this is a neutral tone. I think this is a yellow undertone, and if this is neutral, she probably needs to make it more neutral, if that kind of makes sense. In it being too dark for me is not the brand's fault. Obviously next time I would purchase a slightly lighter shade, but if I have a tan, I can make it work. It's just, how do I describe this foundation? It's kind of full coverage, like you can build it up. I would say it's a really solid medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's dewy. I would say it goes on luminous and then dries down to almost be matte. At least on my skin, that's what I've noticed. I've seen reviews of people where they're like, this is the most dewy luminous foundation I've ever had tried, and I'm like, I don't have that experience with it. I really don't. It really dries down quite natural virgin on matte finish for me, to the point where it's like, is this even luminous or dewy? I'm not sure. I wouldn't repurchase this. I wouldn't recommend purchasing this. It's just meh. That's literally how I would describe it. Meh. It's not the worst foundation in the world, but it's also definitely not worth the price point and not something that I would recommend. So next up is some really old school kind of, well, one of them's not that old school, but the first one is very old school drugstore foundations. And I've never tried them before, so this year was the year for me. And I know that most of you are probably gonna be like, how have you never tried these foundations before? I just haven't, okay? This is a judgment-free zone, all right? Now the first one is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I told you you're gonna be like, how have you never tried this? This is a cult classic for a reason. Like, this is a really nice foundation, completely blown away. I hate that it doesn't have a pump, but I think, you know, you can purchase a pump for that. It's really not that big of a deal. But this is really nice. It's full coverage, definitely matte. Is it poreless? I mean, I wouldn't call it poreless, like super poreless, but it's not like texture emphasizing, if that kind of makes sense. But yeah, like for such a cheap foundation, and for like, there's a reason why this is kind of like constantly revisited. If you are looking for a full coverage matte foundation and you don't want to pay a lot of money, this is actually, I like it. I like it quite a lot, actually. And it does definitely wear all day. Like, it's not going to budge. And the next one that is a real classic that I had not tried is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Freshwear. Now I think this may have got released last year or the year before, but anyway, I hadn't tried it. And I have literally never heard one person speak badly about this foundation, so I definitely wanted to try it. This is in the shade 130, True Beige is the color, and it's a perfect color match for me. And this foundation is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like absolutely, it is probably, it is top 3 in my collection foundations. I freaking love this. Like if there's one foundation from the drugstore that I would, like if I could only have one foundation from the drugstore ever, this would be it. It's so beautiful. It is so lightweight on the skin. It doesn't make, like you don't feel like you're wearing makeup. It's full coverage, like it's medium to full coverage, but you can build it up and it doesn't cake, it doesn't settle in pores, it doesn't settle in fine lines. It is long wearing, it's a natural finish, so it's not too matte, it's not too dewy, doesn't break me out. It's just literally, this is like such a perfect foundation. And my all-time favorite foundation, like all time, is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro, and this is so similar. It's basically a dupe. Like this is just freaking phenomenal. A foundation that I picked up and absolutely hate, like literally hate, is the Mecca Maxima Selfie, what is it called? 2-in-1 foundation and concealer Selfie Skin. I hate this foundation, which is a real shame because this was like $20. In Australia, that's a cheap foundation if you can get something for $20. It just sucks. This is not a Selfie Skin foundation, I can assure you. I have never experienced a foundation like this. It took me so long to figure out that with this foundation, basically when you apply it, if you apply it with a sponge or a brush, like you know how you kind of like put your foundation on and you pat it out and then you kind of like keep blending it out because you need to spread it. If you do that with this foundation, if you've like patted it down and then you go over it again, it picks the foundation up and leaves it bare. It's so freaking weird. It's just so weird. So the application of this foundation is crap. The wear on my skin of this foundation is crap. It settles in texture, it settles in fine line, it makes me look older than I am. It just does not make me look good. It really doesn't. It's just shit, and it's not long wearing. I tried so hard to make this work. I really wanted to make it work, and I don't like it. I don't recommend it. Next up, I also purchased the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. Now again, this is a hyaluronic hydrating foundation, not something I would normally purchase because I know that I generally don't like hydrating foundations. However, again, I hadn't seen kind of like a bad review of this foundation basically from anyone with any skin type. And so many people, including Robert Welsh, who I adore, just like fully thinks this is like the bee's knees. I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna see what this really is all about. Well, I actually have a review on it. I'll link it down below and up here. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And actually in the review, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. For me, it's very cakey looking on the skin. Yes, you can build it up, but it's just, I find this to be super cakey on the skin. I find it to settle in texture and fine lines, in pores, all of that. I actually just found this foundation made my skin look really, yeah, just really a lot older than it was and a lot worse than it just wasn't smoothing. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so hydrating and smoothing and plumping, and I just did not have that experience. Maybe because I am combo oily skin, it's like an opposite type thing. I don't know. It's not long wearing and it has coconut in it, which I did not realize when I purchased it, and it breaks me out. So yeah, I dislike it quite a lot actually. Next up is the NYX Born To Glow foundation. I don't know why I keep buying glowy and dewy kind of foundations because clearly I don't like them. But anyway, I purchased this because again, it has really good reviews from multiple people with different skin types, and I love the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I think that's an amazing foundation. So I purchased this. This is in the color Nude, which is actually the same color as the Can't Stop Won't Stop. Fun fact, they don't translate across their lines. So this is way too dark for me, but it's fine, I can make it work. It's okay. It's a medium to full coverage, and I would just literally describe this as okay. It does make my skin look a bit older and textured and fine liney than I would prefer. It's not super long wearing, and I need to powder it down quite a bit to make it more long wearing, but it's not the worst foundation that I've ever tried. Like, I would say this one is worse than this one because at least this one also doesn't break me out. It's got no ingredients in it that will break me out, but this one also looks better on my skin than this one. And I would also pick this one over the Anastasia Luminous foundation as well. So it's not the worst foundation. It's just kind of like, meh, it's okay. It's just okay. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Meh. My last drugstore foundation that I purchased, and then we'll get on to kind of the remaining high-end foundations. I only have 4 left after this one, so don't just hang in there with me, okay? Now it is the Revlon Candid foundation. So again, I hadn't tried this one before, and I picked it up because like our Chemist Warehouse or something like that had 50% off this foundation, and I was like, YOLO. This is in the shade 220, perfect shade for me, and this is beautiful. I was hesitant because I know people say this is like a light to medium coverage, or a medium coverage I would call it. But this is gorgeous. This is flawless on the skin. It's very smoothing, doesn't emphasize texture, doesn't emphasize fine lines. It's enough coverage that it's like perfect for everyday. Like if you are looking for an everyday foundation that is not heavy, that's not full coverage though, and it's just like your skin but better, this is a really nice option. I'll go through these next 2 quite quickly actually, because I would have already posted my Black Friday makeup haul and I talked about these products in that particular video. But I recently purchased in Black Friday sales the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation and the ZOEVA Authentic Skin Foundation. Now I've purchased these for both 50% off because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like them, to be completely honest with you, but I've wanted to try them for a really long time. I really like them. I really like them. This one is obviously full coverage and a matte finish. I'm actually wearing this foundation today in this video and I love it. It doesn't settle in my fine lines, emphasize texture. It is very long wearing and very full coverage, but I do really like this foundation because you can use just a very sparing amount over the skin and it covers things really nicely, like evens out the skin tone and kind of looks a bit more lighter coverage, but it's super long wearing and just really lightweight on the skin. So I am highly impressed with this one, highly, and I do really recommend it. I would repurchase it at full price. I think it's a beautiful foundation. The ZOEVA one is Authentic Skin, so it's a natural skin finish, but it's basically everything you want the ABH Luminous foundation to be, but it's not. This one is just kind of like trying too hard and it really misses the mark, whereas this one just is like, I've got this. Now this one makes your skin look like your skin but better, but you do look like you're wearing foundation when you wear this, at least I do, because I build it to a medium to full coverage. It is a really solid medium coverage and you can build it to full, but it's just gonna look a little bit, not heavy on the skin, but just like you are wearing foundation. Whereas when you use a light amount, it does look like your skin, but better. The finish is beautiful, so if you're someone that just likes a natural finish, this is perfect. It is a little bit dewy, but it's not, like for combo oily skin people, it's completely fine if you use powder. Very long wearing. I've taken to wearing this to work and it lasts all day and I don't have to touch up, which is awesome. And yeah, I don't know what it is about this foundation, but it's very smoothing. It's a really it's an enjoyable foundation to wear. Like it's an enjoyable experience. We have made it to the last 2. So next up is the Kosas Tinted Face Oil. Now this, if you don't like the Bite Beauty Changemaker foundation, but you are looking for a clean beauty foundation that offers what the Bite Beauty is offering, this is probably the one that you're gonna like. Now this is a full light coverage, if that kind of makes sense. So it's verging on a medium coverage, but it's not quite. But it is beautiful. And now I obviously have combo oily skin. It doesn't make me oilier, if that kind of makes sense. Like I don't look like a grease while wearing this. I do set it with powder obviously, but it's still quite long wearing considering it's an actual oil and I have oily skin. The best way I have found to put this particular foundation on is with your hands. Again, like it seems to be the thing for these clean beauty brands, but seriously with the oil, like with your hands is the way to go. And you can build it up a lot more full coverage, well, not full coverage, but you can build it up with more coverage if you use your hands. You can still use a sponge and a brush, but I just personally find that with your hands it just really melts into the skin, and this foundation makes you look like I just naturally look this good and I'm not wearing makeup. Like I just woke up like this, but really you're wearing this and it makes you look really like glowy and flawless in a really good way. And the last foundation is probably one of my top 3 foundations that I found for this year, and it is the YSL All Hours foundation. Now I fully expected when I got a tester of this product originally to not like this. I fully expected to hate it actually, purely because I thought it would be 1, too full coverage for me and 2 matte for me. Usually I just like a natural finish, especially the more full coverage the foundation is. If it's too matte, I usually don't like it. If you have combo oily skin and you want a foundation that is full coverage, or you can tailor between medium and full coverage, and you want something that's matte and you want something that is going to last on your skin all day and literally not budge and you never have to touch up, then this is the foundation for you. We made it to the end of the video. That was all 14 foundations that I have purchased so far for the year of 2020. Let me know if any of these foundations are your favorite, your least favorite. What foundations have you picked up this year that you are loving, hating? I really need to know all of these facts because maybe there's things out there that I need to try or stay away from. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And I really appreciate it if you do. In all seriousness, thank you so much. And thank you if you are watching until this point. I am very, very grateful for you. Now, I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time.